FaZe is one of, if not the biggest gaming organization on the entire internet, starting over 13 years ago with Call of Duty trickshotting, and transitioning over time in an attempt to adapt to the newest forms of media. Recently, FaZe has completely switched their focus to IRL live streaming, which is very different from the gaming focus for the previous 12 years of the team, with some of the new recruits being Blackboy Max, Jason the Ween, and Lacey. Nearly all of the new members would average tens of thousands of viewers every single day, proving that the switch to live streaming was worth the risk. Although, this change wouldn't go without sparking immense criticism from other creators in the space. While acting friendly towards FaZe in real life, the same can't be said when they're behind the camera. Which begs the question, why has it become so common for people to hate FaZe? It all began when the owners began recruiting these new streamers to the team. The first recruit to the new FaZe was Blackboy Max on April 28th of 2024. Over the past few years, Max has blown up on Twitch for his reactions, community events, and aux battles with other big creators. At first, this recruit would be a shock to basically everybody, as even though they knew FaZe was basically restarting from the ground up, they still expected it to be a gaming team. Max was a music and just chatting streamer, and despite having a very large audience of people, he had done very little gaming content on his streams, which would spark tons of criticism from the existing FaZe community. I'm happy to see people make it in general. Never heard of this guy ever, but I also don't think this is the direction FaZe should go in. Would be nice if you picked up some people with raw skill for video games, and not just based on what they bring to the table, followers, etc. And you kick the likes of Blaze and Tico for these guys? It seemed like there was a large side of the FaZe community that weren't happy with these new recruits, although Banks would still double down on this decision. A day later, Banks would recruit Silky, who made similar content to Blackboy Max, then would recruit Lacey and Jason the Ween. Despite all the negativity and the attempts for people to shit on FaZe during this time, for the first time in years, nearly everyone on the internet would be talking about FaZe. And whether they realized it or not, this may have been Banks' plan all along. It was clear early on that many streamers, primarily in the Poggers community, didn't agree with the new direction FaZe was going in. The main reason for this was due to the different types of content they made in comparison to everyone else. It seemed like every single day they were doing something crazy, whether it be going to a Ken Carson concert live on stream, or clip farming in various different stores and restaurants. FaZe was constantly doing something new and innovative on the platform, so much different compared to your traditional streamers who just sit at their desk reacting to videos or playing games for like 12 hours. Watching their streams is similar to watching a reality TV show that's live, uncut, and real. And whether they liked it or not, FaZe would continue to grow insanely quickly, with nearly every member in the house averaging over 15,000 viewers at any given moment. They would even get evicted from their first house after throwing each other's PCs and beds in the pool, and also pouring flour on each other, which would create a disaster. Although, this still wouldn't be what many consider the peak of new FaZe. Just a few months after the group was formed, they would do their first major stream marathon. Right after getting evicted from their house, the entirety of FaZe would decide to do a subathon stream, which in fact was the very first group subathon ever. If you don't know what a subathon is, it's basically just a Twitch stream with a timer that shows how long the stream goes for. And for every $5 sub they get, the timer goes up by a certain amount of time. Right off the bat, these streams would do extremely well. Each of the members would average thousands of viewers at any given moment, no matter what they were doing. Many people would recognize this to be one of the major stepping points for FaZe as a group, as they proved that they were here to stay and brush off any negative criticism that people were spreading about them. It's also important to mention that each day throughout the subathon, FaZe did a new group segment. Everything from boxing each other in a ring in their backyard to exploding chemicals and doing science experiments. The FaZe subathon would essentially take over Twitch at this point, and Jason the Ween would even become the #2 most subbed Twitch streamer at the time with over 100,000. It was hard to discredit FaZe for what they were doing. They were changing the entire streaming games and doing different things that nobody else was. Although, them being what some would consider misfits of the streaming world would obviously make some of the people in the Poggers community hate them. The Poggers community consists of the people that grew Twitch into the platform it is today. Some of these people include XQC, Hassan Abi, Ludwig, and QT Cinderella. While FaZe has pretty good relationships with all the streamers I mentioned, it would be the lesser known people in the Poggers community who seem to have a problem with FaZe. At the 2024 Streamer Awards, Awards, FaZe would for sure stand out throughout the whole crowd, with multiple members getting nominated for awards, and Stable Ronaldo having his own segment at the show, interviewing people as they walked in. Although, some streamers wouldn't hold back on giving their thoughts on FaZe. One of the people announcing the awards, named Grace Van Dien, would insult FaZe in front of everybody.
I am hard-stuck bronze in every game that I play. That's why I was never accepted into FaZe, right guys? Yeah. That's okay, I'm not a Trumpy anyway.
Grace initially joined FaZe all the way back in May of 2023. However, after some disputes with the owners, primarily FaZe Rain, she would ultimately decide to leave the team. Although, her saying this obviously wouldn't resonate well with FaZe, and they would be extremely quick to call Grace out. First, on Lacey's stream,
why does she say this? I'm not a Trumpy anyway. FaZe is not full of Trumpies, bro. Is she wrong? She is wrong, bro. I'm pretty sure, first of all, when I think of someone who's a Trumpy, it's someone who is like brain deadlessly supporting Trump and doesn't like hates everyone else who has a different opinion. Sure, yeah, I voted for Trump, but that doesn't mean I don't judge other people who didn't vote for what I like. That's just your opinion. Like, for example, Max said he voted for Kamala. I would never look at Max and be like, oh, you for not voting for this person. Like, me and Max haven't, that has nothing to do with anything. I don't know. I feel like this is just like brainlessly, I don't know why she tried to take a shot with this, to be honest.
And later on, Blackboy Max would also give his opinion.
Cause I think there's two women on our, I don't know why. I know one of them is Grace, I don't know the other, but one of the girls, I don't know. They said that we're Trumpies, I don't like FaZe, we're Trumpies. Excuse me, lady, I voted for Kamala. In fact, I ain't voted at all. But if I did, I would have voted Kamala. So, can we please dial back, please? Like, you gotta relax with that shit. She can't be saying that. She can't be saying that, though.
The drama between Grace and FaZe Clan wouldn't stop there, as shortly after the award show happens, Grace would make a tweet out of nowhere, saying that the FaZe members were soft and too scared to go up to her in real life. And this would obviously receive tons of backlash going towards Grace, which ultimately made her delete her Twitter accounts.
The next day she tweeted, oh, did she delete her Twitter? She posted something about like, because we were all at the award show together, and she posted something like saying like FaZe like is so tough online, but in person they wouldn't say shit like micro energy or something like that. Which, I mean, I thought it was a little like unnecessary. I think we should have just left it. Even if she tweeted that, I should have just been like, all right, fuck it, whatever. I don't know what she was expecting though, like for us to like be in passing and be like, yo, like, by the way, fuck you. And then we keep walking, like that's in, like, why would we do that? This is what she tweeted. She said, FaZe guys are so brave online, but just stared and whispered whenever they saw me last night, micro energy. It wasn't even that big of a deal. It should have just, like, the past should have just got left in the past, right?
And I
like,
love it. I love it.
We moved on, and then she posted this tweet, right? And Banks shot back insane. Yeah, if you read this, it's just insane. Banks was pissed.
This wouldn't be the only situation FaZe would find themselves in from the Streamer Awards, as after the award show, FaZe would fake pee on their trophies by spitting water on them, making a reference to Kanye as he did the same thing in 2020 to his Grammy. However, some of the people that Ron interviewed live on stream that seemed to be friendly at the beginning, might I add, would insult him and the rest of FaZe on stream only a couple days after the award show.
That goes around every couple months. That's like if their name begins with FaZe, you know you're about to read the worst take of all time. I've never liked them, even long before I was a streamer, because it's just like a big glorified frat.
Oh, good look for the sub.
And their tweet where they were pissing on the Peepo Awards, even if it was like fake and they used like water bottles or whatever, I think is lame as fuck. I don't care that it was a Kanye reference. I think it was fucked up and disrespectful and stupid. After Cutie runs around all night accommodating them and like having to do all this little extra stuff because they requested it, and then you make some tweet for engagement at like a wholesome community fan voted, fan nominated award show. Kinda lame as
I mean, you did your big one hiding behind a screen saying that. Because I'm just confused. When I interviewed you, you seemed very nice and you seemed very peaceful, and I really liked interviewing you, and I thought you were a cool person. But of course, off the internet, you're going to say that and wait until you're not in the presence of FaZe. Number two, I don't know what the f you mean by glorified frat house. I do not party, I do not drink, I don't even really smoke. I've smoked maybe once every 5 weeks. All I'm going to say is, it seems to be that motherfuckers are just depressed in life. Facts or no? Motherfuckers just hate on FaZe for no reason. It makes no sense. You guys just want a reason to fucking hate. It's insanity. We could do anything and you guys still would fucking hate us. I don't get it. Like, if you have a real problem, why don't you fucking, like, address it in person? You have the opportunity to be interviewed. They get asked. They're like, oh, do you want to be interviewed by Ron? And I literally was like, yeah. Or she was like, yeah, I'd like to. So that was what happened. So I'm so confused.
Even QT Cinderella, the event organizer, would comment on this a couple days after the award show, saying that she thought them recreating that meme was really funny.
The boys pee on their award.
Okay.
And guys, I can't tell you how many messages I got from people saying that's so disrespectful. I'm so sorry they did that.
Is it from streamers or from
streamers, from
Whoa.
commenters? Guys, I thought it was funny. It's a Kanye meme. It's a meme.
And you see, it wasn't even pee.
I know it wasn't pee.
I think everyone thought, I literally thought they all got their dick out and peed on it, but
no.
When I saw when it was water, I'm like, oh.
While there are numerous streamers who like new FaZe, as can be seen through their collaborations, there's also many who hate them. In my opinion, the main reason for this is likely due to them creating a new form of content. Instead of traditional streaming, they actually go out and do things. Not just that, but they aren't afraid to be themselves and speak their harsh opinions on sensitive topics. This behavior only makes their community stronger, as they feel like they have a deeper connection with each streamer. I also want to mention that this version of FaZe is very different from your traditional content group. Rather than the group having a shared community, like you could say about AMP, each individual streamer had their own communities before joining FaZe in the first place, which if anything, just makes the success of this group even more impressive. In conclusion, this new change for FaZe was genius. Even though at the start there was so much negativity around the FaZe brands, Banks and the rest of the group continued pushing it forward. In the end, everyone is talking about FaZe and they're averaging more viewers than they ever had before. If you guys enjoyed today's video, then do be sure to click the next one on screen to learn about the many complicated relationships that actually helped Clix's career.